you have patients who mostly tell you the truth,
Right.
right? You have parents who mostly want to do the best they can. How is that not the audience that you want as a physician? Truthful people who want to do the best they can. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And it used to be the children didn't malinger very much, which is a joy. They don't like to get shots. They don't like to get their blood drawn. They don't like X-rays. They got to be dragged into the office to be seen, as opposed to us adults that we like to complain quite a bit about everything that's not right with our bodies. It is a joyful profession.
I
I
think we
am
got the best job in the world. We're rock stars of medicine.
I'm all confused about the AAP. I'm all eternally confused about why they exist, what they don't do. What does SOPM do in particular? What is the mission of SOPM?
They have a lot of words on the website to describe the mission that you could read, but what SOPM was for me, which I think is, gosh, I think there's all these beautiful things online about what an entity is, but really it's like, what does it teach individual person and how is it helpful to each physician? And how SOPM was helpful for me is really having a community of people that I can reach out to when I want to do something new in my practice, or if I want to know what are other people having to tackle, what are they having to deal with in whether in private practice or not. But I'm by myself out here, guys. I am a solo practitioner. And so it's really difficult to pivot and make decisions just based, some of them are fine based off just my population and just my practice, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's nice to take a step back and take a more global view. And so SOPM provided that support for me. That's their mission, is not to provide support for Beth Gallant, but that's what they did for me and I really appreciated it. And less so the corporate sort of vibe and more about relationships, which
So it was a community. It was the ability to join a community of people that are doing the same thing across the country. And when you don't really know which way to go business wise, more mostly, although sometimes clinically too, someone goes, "Oh yeah, I've seen that. This is how I got it." But the reason I get confused is then what is COPAM, the Committee on Practice in Ambulatory Medicine? Because
yes.
when you read their mission statements and what they do, they seem to be duplication.
There's a lot of cross coverage and blurring and within the AAP. There and you have PAC too, right?
Oh, I'm
And
on
Right.
board of that.
But the PAC I understand, that's a payer relation. The
but it's
SOAP,
within COPAM.
oh, that's part of COPAM?
I believe so. I believe so. So there's a lot of branches, there's a lot of acronyms. I oftentimes have to pull out my list of acronyms and go, wait a minute, what's that one again? And sort out in my brain what their specific role is. They each do have their own missions.
I remember back in the day when I started this practice management stuff, people would
Mhm.
come up with questions, and I quickly go onto SOPM. I put it out to somebody, Rich Lander or some of those other giants would immediately tell me the answer. And I go back, say, "Oh, it's so simple as this." Everybody thought I was some kind of genius, but somebody ahead of me, back to the mentoring, told me the answer. And I think that's where medicine is starting to lose things because we're doing what we do best, see patients. And a lot of the giants are no longer practicing. A lot of the giants are no longer on SOPM. I think I'm not of the giant generation, but I learned a lot from the giants, and I'm feeling like I'm one of the last ones.
I think that's how mentoring goes, right? You don't feel like you're a giant until quite late into it, right? I don't think if you ask Dr. Lander, does he, or Dr. Lesson, do you guys think you're giants? Maybe now they would say, yeah, I contributed a lot. But
Yeah, yeah,
while they were still practicing, I don't know if they would have noticed that themselves. And so it's just part of how it goes.
yeah.
So,
How did you
so,
get
tell,
into private practice? What was your journey like?
so before we
Oh,
go there, I want to know, describe for the audience what your practice is, because it's very different.